But finally it came. It had to eventually, and came up with a big blast, sent us scurrying to the sails. There's 40 men furling one sail, the foresail here, and they're not up there playing tiddlywinks. There's 20 men out on the starboard side with body and soul lashings on, and 20 more men out on the port side, body and soul lashings on, because the buttons are not strong enough to hold your oilskins against the storm. Winds getting up over 100 miles an hour later on. But you put lashings around your waist, around your ankles, around your wrists, and around your neck to hold the oilskins on, not to keep dry, but to keep a little bit warmer in the blast of freezing cold air. Snow every month of the year. We got snowball fights around the deck. The two fellows just coming into the picture at the right here now were washed overboard on the way home. That means 2 empty bunks, and nothing is said about it. It's all very quiet. Now, you must be on the ball at all times and get yourself out of the way of a big wave coming roaring across, because there's not time for somebody to tell you how to go about it. You wind yourself up on some wire or a lifeline that's specially put up there for the purpose from the windward side, because otherwise you get bashed away from whatever you're trying to hang on to. Pictures from the top of the mast, now 17 stories high, and when I showed these pictures in London, I lectured to the Honorable Company of Master Mariners, where every single man in the audience was a squerriga skipper or retired, and they said afterwards, not a man in the audience, and we represent 3,000 to 4,000 times around Cape Horn, has ever seen that much water across the deck of a vessel that has not sunk. Can we get a copy for the British Museum? So I got a copy in the British Museum. I thought, what can a young fellow do to get something in the British Museum? It's incredible, but there's no other pictures taken under these circumstances ever taken and never will. There's no more loaded square riggers. This is storm number 2, and between the storms you set sail. And you're going to see the ocean down here in this third storm looking like the bottom of Niagara Falls. The whole water just blowing horizontally now. It can't sit down. It's blowing so fast. You're up over 90 now, and the next storm will bring it over 100 miles an hour, just screaming, 350 lines, screaming like you're torturing animals to death. The noise is fantastic. Setting that forcefully, you saw 40 men furling. A bundle's been caught there. But in between the storms, the wind goes down off into an absolute flat calm. It makes it a very difficult place to sail around, but it's not all storms. Nobody writes about smooth water. Well, what is there to say about it? No wind, period. Now watch this. The bottom of Niagara Falls looks exactly like you're going to see it here in about 3 or 4 seconds, because a tremendous open part of the sea is shown just tortured. Look, tortured, just like the water coming over Niagara Falls. Look at this, the open ocean. The forces involved are fantastic. There's no words that I can use in any language that'll tell you what it's like. If you've been there, that's the only way you'll know, because the forces are beyond anything you've ever experienced or thought was possible. Our lower topsails are built to stand any storm, and yet we had trouble there too. But the screaming is beyond belief. You'd all get up and get out if you had that noise of that caliber around here. And, oh, she is really pumping and straining. The noise of the vessel when you're down inside, groaning one piece against the other. You'd think it was coming apart. But it's built for Cape Horn and was not about to come apart. But, oh, how the chafing and wear and tear, not only on the ship but on the individuals. The lookout on the deck is back here amidships now. And I'm holding the camera steady with the ship. This is not the way to take it, but I tried it out to see what it looked like. It looks like the ocean is running around. The ship is staying still. Every bar taut line is just quivering and screaming. And the lookout is back here. Now I'm on top of the chart house. And now the camera's held steady with the horizon, which is the proper way to take pictures. But to get pictures from down here, when a rogue sea may wipe you off, is just asking for trouble. And boy, trouble came in a big way. All of a sudden, I was afloat with a smashing crash. Couldn't even shut off the camera as I was knocked galley west here. And, oh, look at her roll. But that rogue wave just had my name on it, and it came within 1/4 inch of getting smashed. There she goes, smashed up completely and over the side there as I washed off the top of the chart house. But that's the kind of thing. I'm dying to get pictures to show my mother, father, brothers, and sisters what it's like off the Horn, and this is the nearest to it we've ever seen. Look at that one. Well, that's what I see happens when it comes a little bit aft, and then you get 2 seconds of pictures and you're finished. You're underwater again. The camera had been underwater 100 times. It was not made for that. Oh, here's one of the greatest sights, a main lower topsail carrying away. Now, in the edge of the canvas is a wire the size of your thumb. And the steady pressure of the wind just broke that wire. How, I don't know. But that sail is not supposed to be taken in ever, because so they've got a preventer sheet out there on the end of the yard that's got to be unshackled before you can pull up what's left of the sail, and then they must all go up there and furl the pieces. You save everything, even little 5 or 6 inch strips, pieces of marline. You don't waste anything on these ships. And if the fellow who goes out there to take the shackle off the preventer sheet gets touched once by that canvas, he's dead. Boy, he just knocks him off, and that's that. The skipper on deck was blowing his whistle, trying to make him stop, but we couldn't even hear him 5 feet away. But when they got that corner of the sail pulled up, the clew of the sail pulled up, you'll see a 4-inch strip of canvas down the lower right-hand corner just hanging down there. You just barely see it now. But the third mate got up on the end of the yard, could not reach that 4-inch strip of canvas, so he hung down. And I missed the best picture of the whole trip. I ran out of film. He hung down by one arm and one leg from the foot rope, and just then a squall came and the ship rolled to windward, and that man's entire body vibrated just like those sails. Just the whole body just flapped, just like the sail. Never have we ever heard of or seen such a thing as a man's body flapping like a sail. But when the man came down, nobody said one word to him. We all would have done it. Some kind of hypnotism makes us do those things. It's just incredible. When you look at them later, it's crazy, but they do it under the conditions of working for the ship, making it go, she needs you. And when there's something like that going on, you would do the same thing too when you're young under those conditions. Look at the water just blowing horizontally. Just the whole air is full of water. When you breathe water along with some air as well. But I tell you, it's just wild, the circumstances. The nets are getting tired now. They're gradually wearing and chafing down, but they saved many a life. And how the seas do crash across the deck, wear and tear at the equipment and the rigging and all that, and we have to watch the chafe. And finally, we have to drive the ship 200 miles west before it can turn north. Cape Horn is not just a point where you go around and finish. No, so you got to go 200 miles west against the currents, against the winds, and then head north. Otherwise, Chile has got the worst lee shore in the world and is known for smashing up ships by the hundreds there over many years. But these fellows are at the after wheels now. Their midships wheels broke, and they're lashed here now, so they won't get thrown over the side by the wheel when it gives a kick. If it chooses to kick, it can catch in your clothes and throw you right over the side. But now we've turned north. We're headed up along the coast of Chile. And the mates came to me and said, look, did the captain ever tell you how he saved a couple of fellows during a storm? No, tell me about it. Oh, he said he doesn't want anybody to know about it because he deserted his ship. But what happened was this. He saw somebody washed overboard forward, and he ran to the stern, grabbed the spanker sheet in one hand, and jumped over the stern into the boiling cauldron under the stern during a storm, grabbed the man's hair as he came by, and we pulled him back on board. One hand on the line and one hand of the man's hair, and he did that twice. Now, the reason he doesn't want anybody to know about it, and the fact it's never been in print, is because a captain should not desert his ship. And here he goes jumping over the stern, but he's a Superman. 93 days out, we see Chile now, the first sight of land. And here's a little tug with a big stack, loud whistle, and no power, but useless to us. So I was able to get on the tug and to get these pictures. Looking at the bow of the Peking coming in now. Oh, all my still pictures were double exposures. Luckily, you can't do that with a movie camera. And there you have the ship sailing in proudly. Oh, the vessel that we fought for, that we went into danger, that we got bashed up on, that caused such agony, cold, wet, sleep in your wet clothes, no other way to dry them. But that's the vessel we fought. Though, why do you do it? For cargo. Cargo is king. The only thing that's dry on that ship is the cargo. And if you don't bring in dry cargo, you might as well stay at home. So cargo is cared for absolutely. The seamen must take care of themselves.